was amazing. It felt like freedom.
Looking for a friend to cry.
Demonstrations in several counties.
Forward.
Already, what you're doing is political.
He turned his back on the people.
The only thing is, what are they doing? Are they advocating for the people? Are they doing pro-people policies?
June 25th, 2024, the streets of Nairobi erupted in defiance. Kenyans led by Gen Z demanded justice, accountability, and an end to oppression.
So last year, ilikuwa amazing sana kuona wase waki stand up for their rights in terms of social justice na in terms of lobbying for direct action. A few moments, unaona, we had actually achieved some form of social justice. It was amazing. Unaona, na hiyo feeling, ili feel like freedom.
Some never made it back home.
As youth were being shot outside parliament, these people were inside parliament voting yes. Unaona? Yes, for something that people are saying, hey, it's here to die. Unaona? We are outside here. So people have died, unaona, because they have come out to say. Na so much respect for those people who lost their lives. Unaona, we shall never forget.
Tunakataa uongozi mbaya wa Ruto.
The second demand.
But what exactly is social justice? How does it shape Kenya's political landscape? And with some activists now joining government, is the movement losing its power?
First of all, what we have to do is to define what social justice is all about. Na tukiangalia hapo tunaona that social justice basically aims at achieving socio-economic gains for the people. So when we talk about, for instance, the right to access to clean water, access to housing, access to healthcare that is quality, access to education that is quality, all these things compound what is known as social justice. Social justice essentially means living in dignity as human beings. So when we look at how the various needs of human beings are required to be fulfilled in order to achieve human dignity, then we are saying we are aiming towards social justice.
Social justice is not just activism, it's a political task. Lewis Maganga defines it as a struggle for human rights, fairness and dignity, one that often crashes with the system.
What is the difference between social justice and human rights? Human rights, of course, talks about the rights of human beings. Human rights focuses on oppression, which is a political aspect. Social justice focuses on exploitation, which is an economic aspect, right? However, somebody cannot exploit you without at the same time oppressing you. In short, somebody cannot economically dominate you without, first of all, politically dominating you. Because politics is what gives somebody or some people the instruments to be able to do whatever it is that they want to do. The two cannot be separated. If you're an advocate for social justice, then you automatically are performing a political task. If you're an activist already, what you're doing is political. Whether you like it or not, what you're doing is political. Yes. What these activists are against is, well, of course the government, because the government of the day is always there. But what they're against is something bigger than that. It's against an entire system that has put that government there in the first place. So it goes even beyond the government. An activist will advocate for food sovereignty, for example, which encompasses policies that go even beyond their own countries. You see, you look at a policy that is drafted not in your country, not by your government, but by some multinational institutions, some corporations. You know, you're against your government if your government does not provide, give people their dignity as human beings. But beyond that, you're against a system that functions not only within your own country, but internationally as well. You see, you do not necessarily have to be in the opposition. In fact, if an opportunity arises, you can form government as well. Of course, if you would like to participate in politics, form a political party, participate in the process of forming government as an activist, you can do that as well.
These social justice centers zimekuwa zikioperate as beacon of hope in each and every community, because ziko based kwa community level na ku address issues za community in a community way. Ni ku engage community na community wana take lead ya kuleta mabadiliko yale ambayo wanataka. Na tukiangalia saa hii conversation ile inaendelea ni about change, na hizi conversations zimekuwa zikifanyika kwa muda, na tumekuwa tukiongelesha watu, tumehamasisha watu, tumeparticipate in terms of shaping the conversation about accountability in this country. Tumekuwa na maandamano kadhaa za finance bill, hata tukiwa na former president Uhuru Kenyatta pia akiwa kwa uongozi tulikuwa na maandamano. Tulikuwa na maandamano pia Ruto akiingia kwa serikali, tumekuwa na maandamano kadhaa. Tumeshikwa, tumelala ndani, lakini Wakenya si ati wajekuwa wakiona. Vitu zile tumekuwa tukifanya continuous ndio zimefanya tuka lead to 25th June. Cause one, bila ku maintain that momentum, umekuwa ukituona tunafanya mikutano, tunafanya huko kwa mtandao, tunafanya mikutano huko X-Space, kuna zingine zinafanywa za Zoom, vitu kama hizo. Tunaita tu watu pamoja tu kuweza kufanya mazungumzo. Na hii continuous process ndio iliweza ku lead kwa 25th June.
For Anami Toure, social justice is about action. He recalls past protests against the finance bill, protests that were ignored. But on the 25th of June, something changed.
Na haya masuala pia ukiangalia masuala ya kijamii ya social justice ndio yameweza kufanya wananchi kufanya maandamano, kwa sababu mtu ana chakula, mtu ana pesa, alafu ile payslip kidogo ako nayo, serikali pia inakata hiyo payslip kama yote, anaenda na pesa kidogo. Sasa hata watu kufanya saving ni kitu ngumu sana.
Can activism and politics coexist, or is social justice always an opposition movement?
We keep in check on government. Serikali ikifanya kitu mzuri, kama serikali ikuje iwekee kila mtu hapa stima, imwekee maji, kila mtu anakula chakula nini na nini, utaona nani hata akiuliza serikali kitu? Unaona? Hakuna mtu atauliza serikali ati nini na nini. As long as ishughulikie masuala ya kijamii, kila mtu aweze kupata na apate kwa njia kamilifu, njia ambayo inatakikana, na kila mtu ako sawa, anapata pesa yake, anafanya biashara yake, nani ataanza kushindana na serikali, kufuata serikali? Kila mtu ni activist. Kwa sababu hata mtoto mdogo ukimnyang'anya maziwa kutoka kwa kama ni haki yake, atafanya nini? Atalia, na yeye mtoto mdogo, na hiyo anajitetea haki yake. Sasa utamuita pia, kila mtu ni mwanaharakati. Na lazima ujitetee.
Fighting for justice in Kenya comes at a cost, a deadly cost.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen from all stations represented. We're right here at Ufungamano House, and today we're talking about the people who are missing, the people who have been abducted, and the people who also lost their lives in the anti-government demonstrations.
It's been like a legal thing now to actually abduct people and hold them in communicado, and it's the state doing this, right? It's been a normalized thing, and since I think it's been happening. Sisi watu wa ghetto, we can tell you there's been a lot of abductions and enforced disappearance, but we've seen in 2024 ikikuwa like a legal thing, like adi inafanyika in broad daylight. Currently in Kenya, we don't have a law that criminalizes enforced disappearance. Most of these cases are not documented. We have Kitengela 3, we have Mulolongo 4, we have a lot of people who have been, and hata huku mtaani, it's a norm, right? But how long are we going to normalize a human rights violation? How long are we going to normalize enforced disappearance? Especially kama ni state iko involved. These people get abducted, what do we see in the end? We find bodies. We have to get to a point where we are like, no, it's wrong to kill our young people, it's wrong to kill women, it's wrong to kill children, because Ruto anabishana na watoto wadogo.
Protesters vanish, some return broken, others are never seen again. Yet silence is not an option.
Our children cannot come live the life we are living. We cannot give birth watoto wetu wa dedi. We cannot give birth Ruto our way. We cannot give birth wakufe hosi juu ya lack of juu hosi yetu haina madawa, juu madaktari wajalipwa. We cannot give birth watoto wetu wakose education. We cannot give birth watoto wetu waishi nyumba haina maji, nyumba, like we cannot.
Tunaweza tukafanya kama community, tutumie social media, especially Twitter, to call for action na accountability.
We have to reach a notch where we politicize these problems that we deal with every day in the community, so that as people we are able to connect.
Social media imecheza a very critical role in the struggle. Kulikuwa na Twitter storm, they understood the topic, they got to engage. So tukienda hata mbele tunasema tutapeleka petition na Rambe House, wanajua okay, tunaenda ku address rezo hivi na hivi na hivi na hivi. Ni social media iliweza kubring madoctors pamoja ndio wasaidia watu time maandamano. Social media ndio iliweza kuleta watu LSK, Law Society of Kenya pamoja ndio waweze kusaidia wale wenye walikuwa wamefungwa kiolela. Social media ndio iliweza kubring all these other players wenye significantly ndio as much as wako kuwa ndani ya maandamano, but walikuwa critical in assisting those protesters wenye walikuwa na advocate for good governance to the fore. So for me, wakati naona ina come na bring us together na a mobilizing tool ya kuleta social change, for me inanielete kabisa.
From hashtags to live stream, social media has become the new front line, but the government is fighting back.
Speaking at a conference in Eldoret, the CS raised concerns about what he described as the misuse of social media. The new CS addressing Kenyans, particularly Gen Z, emphasizing how social media has not been effectively utilized.
Of course, the capacity is there in case we have situations of national security importance. For example, you know what happened to Rwanda.
Social media itakuwa free. Inafaa kuwa free. For me, that's... Yeah, they have the power, but at the end of the day, on what precedence? Is it constitutional? So saizi, hakuna kudilidali around the fence anymore. We cannot lie to ourselves that social media bring change. Iko here to stay, na itakuwa hapa for the longest time. Na saizi ime-advance mpaka iko ndani ya AI, artificial intelligence. So it can only get better.
Thousands of women joined by men staged peaceful demonstrations in several counties to condemn the rising cases of femicide.
When I went for the Mandamano, I didn't first go as a community organizer or as a cultural worker. I didn't go as an activist. I went as someone who knows that femicide has knocked on her door a couple of times, and that time, actually in January, something almost happened and I almost lost my ma. And I didn't really go like that. Now I'm an activist and I have to make noise, or I have to vocalize like an activist. No, I went there to vocalize as a daughter, as a woman. Yeah.
For women, the fight for justice is about survival. Sani Rihanna believes that collective action is the only way forward.
So most people went they showed up, they gained that courage because they were speaking for themselves, not really speaking for others. Hapo ndio sasa activists inakujianga, like activists will go and speak for others, but for this one, people showed up to speak for themselves. Like, I could be a victim, I could, anything could happen anytime. I'm here, but then I don't know if tomorrow I'll make it. So yeah, I think that was the difference that happened, or something that was different for the 2024, 25th of Jan Mandamano.
That tear gas.
Also, there was the 10th of December that happened. And of course, the police did the wahala. Trust you me, I went looking for a friend to cry and scream because I just couldn't fathom.
The core of our problem is issues of tribalism. And tribalism is what politicians have been using to mobilize us to continue pushing the agenda. So they say we are tribalist. We are Kenyans. It means we are speaking one voice. It means that our challenges remain the same, regardless of your creed, religion, political affiliation, or even the language you speak. We are bounded by a common goal to change Kenya, a common goal to realize a society that serves everyone, that you can be able to live a very dignified life.
Some of us, we are very skeptical about you, and because you are very promising, you did what you could be able to do.
Forward with organizing with women, forward with organizing with the youth, forward.
You feel betrayed?
Yeah, absolutely.
They think you betrayed them.
The only people who I betrayed are tribalists. The only people who I betrayed are people who think that some people's sole purpose is to go to the front lines and die while other people enjoy the spoils of war.
The movement has faced betrayals before, but does joining government mean selling out or creating change from within?
The only thing is, what are they doing? Are they advocating for the people? Are they doing pro-people policies? For example, if we're bringing health insurance, national health insurance, like we've seen with the shisha, is it working for the people? And if the people tell you it's not working, are you listening to them? If we look at the higher education funding model, people are complaining about it. When you look at it, is it pro-people or anti-people? When you look at the vaccines that have been brought for animals, are they pro-people or anti-people? When you look at the GMO seeds that are being passed all around, are they pro-people or anti-people? So, I mean, if you're going to be passing anti-people policies, and there's somebody here who is fighting for the rights of the people, are you guys going to be on the same side? Exactly. So I've answered your question.
Kuna wale hata wanasemanga mimi siwezi piga kura, sasa nipige hiyo. Usipopiga kura ndio sasa kiongozi mwenye utaki aingie sasa, ama ule mbaya ndio ataingia sasa, na akiingia sasa atafanya venye Kaongo anafanya sasa sahi.
For Kenya, the question still remains, will we listen